What is stand-up?
Stand-up is a presentation that I do in secondary schools and sporting communities, which is aimed towards young men between the ages of 14 and 18. And basically what I talk to them about is mental health issues such as anxiety and depression. I'll talk about attitudes towards women, bullying in schools, drugs and alcohol, and friendships. And it's aimed to help the kids understand what these mental health issues are. I'll talk to them about the stats and facts surrounding all those issues, and then talk about my experience also with mental health issues and what I've seen in my time.
Why did you decide on the name Stand Up?
Well, a lot of my presentation, we talk about attitudes towards women, we talk about bullying, we talk about drugs and alcohol, and we talk about mental health issues as well. If a friend's suffering from mental health issues, if they are the person who's suffering from mental health issues. And Stand Up, I really try and have a theme running through the presentation of getting these kids to lead by example and stand up. You know, if they see someone getting bullied, stand up against it. You know, if they see poor attitudes towards women being said amongst the group, or if they see, you know, when they're out and someone's drinking too much and, you know, they've passed out, to stand up and look after them and take control of the situation. So Stand Up just seemed a really obvious name for what I was trying to do with the presentation.
What made you decide to start Stand Up?
Well, I've suffered anxiety all my life, which I've learned how to manage, but those issues started when I was a teenager. I've also suffered depression. I've had 3 bouts of depression, one of them being really, really severe when I was in my early 20s, and I feel that I nearly didn't come out of it. And a really defining moment for me was recently when I got diagnosed with testicular cancer. I put it up on Facebook that I'd had cancer, and I had a massive response from everyone. I had people texting and calling, I had people from my childhood contacting me after 10 years without seeing me, I had people dropping off food, offering money. I had a huge response to my cancer diagnosis. And although it was a good prognosis, I still feel that if I would have put up on Facebook I'm depressed, I wouldn't have got anywhere near the response that I had when I put up that I had testicular cancer. Yet mental health issues is so high in men and women, but also, I mean, the leading cause of death for men and women under the age of 44 is suicide. And so it really propelled me to start Stand Up and go along that avenue of trying to help kids understand what these mental health issues are.
Do you still suffer from mental health issues?
Well, I'll always have anxiety. I've had anxiety my whole life, and I will always have anxiety, but I've learned to manage it, and I've got counselling. I think a big part of me battling my anxiety was understanding what it is. I think that's a big part of it. When I was a teenager and I first started getting anxious and these issues started coming across, I didn't really know what it was, and that was more scary. So understanding what anxiety is, understanding how to manage it. For example, I've created a good lifestyle for myself. I know when I'm getting anxious, I know, you know, that I need a good amount of sleep, for example. So I've been able to manage my anxiety over the years, which has really, really helped. And I'm not a depressive person, but I have had depression, and the depression was caused from circumstances that were happening in my life. So I'm hoping that I don't have depression again, but I did have it, and the good thing about it is I got over it, and I got counselling, I got the help that I needed.
What's your favourite part of your job?
I think the thing that I enjoy about it the most, I feel, is that when I was a teenager, when I was a young boy, I really wished that I had someone like myself now that could go back and sit next to me when I was younger and just say it's going to be okay, talk to me about the issues I was going through, talk to me about these mental health issues that I was having. So I find it really rewarding getting that message across to these kids and helping them understand that it's okay and that there is help out there and it's not that uncommon, and trying to break down the stigma surrounding mental health issues, and then also helping them sort of promote to be leaders, really, in the sense of, you know, what to do if you see bullying, or what to do if you see these attitudes towards women and these comments being said. And so it's a very rewarding job, and the questions that I get asked after the presentation and during the presentation are always really positive. So, you know, I really love the response I've had from it, which is great.
Do you feel that social media has impacted people's experience with depression and anxiety?
I think social media has helped with awareness with depression and anxiety. You know, there's a lot of people coming out now and saying that they're, you know, they've had depression or they're having depression. It is helping awareness. The stigma is getting broken down. There has been a shift with this generation coming through of understanding mental illnesses. But at the same time, social media can also work against you. So, you know, everyone on Instagram, for example, is putting up this life that they're not really living. They're, you know, creating this kind of mirage of like they're happy all the time, they're going to the beach, they're wearing these great clothes, and that's not reality, is it? Not everyone's living a happy, exciting life all the time. So it can kind of help people with awareness, but it can hurt people with this sort of illusion of how we should all be living, because life isn't like that.
Do you think that young men still struggle to connect with their peers when it comes to a personal issue like anxiety or depression?
Well, I think that not only as teenagers people struggle to, but also as an adult. It's not only prevalent in that age group. You know, people are reluctant to get help. People are still reluctant to talk about their issues. Even me, when I talk about my mental health issues, I don't go into too much depth of exactly what they are unless people ask me, and which is fine, but you know, I'm open to talk about it. I want to help people. I want it to sort of get out there a bit more. But when I was a teenager, we most definitely didn't talk to each other about those issues. And even as an adult, I think there's still this stigma surrounding it. So I don't think it's an age thing. I think that we all need to learn that we all have problems. We all have mental health issues. We all have different problems. And talking and getting help and saying that you're not okay, saying that you need help is the first step. You know, and saying that you're not okay, saying that, you know, I'm struggling with something, that's the first step in trying to fix it. And like if you have a broken leg or if you have a broken arm or you tear a hamstring muscle, it's the same thing, you need to get help. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm doing it, try to promote this kind of, you know, talk and you know, be there for one another.
Is there a particular reason why you've decided to aim your presentation mainly at young men, specifically at young men?
Well, first of all, I mean, the presentation is very much stats and facts. I give a lot of stats and facts with these issues that I talk about, and then it's my personal experience. And I couldn't talk about my personal experience to girls as much as I could to the guys. You know, mine is very much directed at like attitudes towards women, drugs and alcohol with young men, you know, mental health issues like depression, anxiety with young men, what to do if your friends have mental health issues. And I felt like, although it is, of course, young girls are still have mental health issues, for me, I just wanted to direct it at what I know best and how I know I can help a young 15-year-old male. You know, that was sort of why I went down that direction, because it has to be real and it has to be sort of, I couldn't imagine getting up and talking to a bunch of, you know, people that I can't relate to, you know, so I really wanted to have that niche market because it was important to me and that's what I went through, and I want to share my experiences to them.